Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors. Trading on margin, utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
So the first thing we're going to look at and talk about are these charts right here. All right. So what we're looking at is essentially the strategy in which many people see for a cost averaging or counter trend software, which a lot of people experience what happens when the markets trend when using a strategy like that. But what makes GearBox different is it's going to be able to take these levels without actually opening them on your account. And what this is known as is a ghost server. And I'll give you a visual of this in a minute, but essentially GearBox is able to trade all of these currency pairs at once in a ghost server behind the scenes, not actually opening trades on your physical account. And then when each currency pair hits a specific period or entry in the market that you designate for it to take a trade or enter a trade, it's going to go ahead and do that. So you can see where many of these pairs would be entering based on your different strategies. So the blue is known as a swing entry. So let's just say, for example, we're looking at GBP AUD. All right, you're going to enter on a swing entry on a gear 6. All right, what does gear 6 do or mean? Well, the first thing about understanding that is that that is going to be a 300 pip move before you would have actually entered a trade. So I saw a lot of people, we'll even use GBP USD as an example. I saw a lot of people had experiences with GBP USD that maybe they were using on a different software and it wasn't so pleasant. Well, the reason for that is you were getting into all of these trades, even though these were the highly profitable and winning ones. You were taking all of these going against the trend before these finally caught the end of the reversal. But with GearBox, you wouldn't even take a trade until a gear 5 entry on swing settings, which would have been 207 pips on GBP USD, or a sniper entry be at 300 pips, right? So, and then the super snipers all the way at 426, right? It rarely happens, but when it does, it's a great trade. So essentially what GearBox is doing is it's counter trend trading the trend in a ghost server, so not in your account. So where previously you're just getting into all this drawdown, now you're skipping large portions of it and just entering later into the trade, which if you understand Forex, market reversals, retracements, really what I would describe the precision modes loading into GearBox as, I would describe GearBox more of a reversal strategy when using swing, sniper, or super sniper settings. Now I'm going to give you a visual of what I mean by this ghost trading thing. And when we log into this VPS here, you're going to see this is an account I'm only running GBP pairs on. Again, this isn't a normal setup. This is just to give you a visual display. But you can see here, buy 5, ghost gear was open. GBP CAD took a trade, but it entered on a level 6. So I don't have, if we go back to this chart here, I entered on level 6. I don't have the drawdown from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I would have had if I was trading that pair on another strategy that many of you may have been using. So essentially you're able to skip periods of drawdown just like that and crush it with very little possible downside potential. Now, there are some pairs that perform better than others. Yeah, you can use GearBox on all of these, but the ones that perform the worst have tended to be many of the JPY pairs. And the reason for this is JPY pairs tend to be very tricky. I've been using different counter trend strategies for many years trading, And I can tell you the pairs that have always been the deadly ones, or that, you know, typically would get you in trouble, often were JPY pairs. And the reason for that is many times they don't show imminent signs of reversal. They trend longer, and they typically do it once or twice a year. They trend for large periods of time before they have a fallout. So because of that, there's, you know, some JPY pairs that you can see are worst performers here, which maybe I would not even use GearBox on them unless you're a more advanced user and you know what you're doing. And then we have the pairs highlighted in green, that they're the best performers. But if you're switching over now from, you know, another product and you're saying, okay, well, how can I get my account running? I'm going to stop sharing my screen now, and I'm going to actually pull up an account that I have running. And this is an account that I had been using. Hold on a second, I'm just pulling it up. Oops, that's not where I need to go. I had been using Einstein on it since last year, and I recently, you know, switched it to GearBox, but I still had open Einstein trades. So I needed to be able to, you know, get in and out of those. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen now. Give me a second. My VPS is just taking a minute to load. There we go. Here we go. Let me share my screen. Now, I'm going to go ahead and just X this all out for right now. And let's just say, I'm going to just close these pairs, ignore this. We're going to go ahead and set this thing up from scratch. So there's a bunch of different pairs you could run, but let's just say you're coming over, and what you can see right here, these are open trades that were from Einstein. And then these are now trades that GearBox has taken on these pairs, you know, since I switched it over. Now, just for the ease of setup and saying you have open trades, let's just say you had EJ and UJ with open trades. Well, the first thing you're going to want to do is open those pairs, and you can open the other pairs. It depends on what strategy you want to use. So if we go back, and I'm going to actually switch this back to my other screen. Give me a second. I don't know how the best way to do that is. Let's see how. There we go. Perfect. So now we see all the pairs here. And what you can do is you can go ahead and type them all in, the ones that you do want to be able to run. You're just going to be able to enter them here and go through them. And this is your normal setup process, right? Depending on which pairs you decide you may want to run or use. I'm just going to type in all the ones that aren't yellow here for simplicity and helping you guys get to being able to use GearBox. I already have EJ open, USD already open. I do have USD JPY. Now USD JPY, as you see, is on the worst performers. So, you know, if you have open trades on it, obviously you're going to still want to open it. And let me go ahead. Now, Euro AED hasn't been a worst performer, but it hasn't been a best performer either, as you see. The ones in the green are the best performers with the GearBox strategy. But all you would do is you would first just make sure you have all these open and typed in your market watch window. And then once you do, and I'm going to check the chat too while we're here. There we go. The change. Somebody said suggested currency pairs and gears to maximize returns. The changes will be applied by backend, or clients need to perform anything themselves. Clients are always going to have to you know, be able to change these things. So if you tune in once a week, there's a call every single week on Friday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern time for me here in Miami, where I do a call and I talk about the current outlook of the market, and then I send a Telegram notice out. If you're not in the Telegram GearBox channels, GearBox Traders Chat or GearBox Announcements, you definitely want to make sure you're plugged into the announcements channels. I do multiple calls weekly, going over GearBox data, market conditions, market analysts, and outlook on many different things. But for the ease of setup now, we have all these pairs open. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is I'm just going to open all the ones I want to run GearBox on, and I'm going to put them all on the daily time frame. So let's go ahead, and these are again my open Einstein trades that I had coming over, or Alexander if you were on that product. And now I'm just going to open everything else up here. I'm going to just chart window right down the line. We're going to open all these pairs. Super simple. It may look, you know, overly complicated right now, but it's really super simple. Once you open all these, I'm going to show you how simple it can be. There's just a few decisions you need to make as you're carrying over trades from another product on your risk management plan. But now that we've opened all these, we're going to go hit this button right here, and it's going to arrange all the windows like this. And then we're just going to click each one just like this, and then go up here and click D1. This is going to switch all the charts to the daily time frame. The daily time frame is going to be your most accurate time frame to use. You could receive more trades if you used the 4-hour or the 1-hour window. All righty. I'm just going to keep switching these all on over to the daily here. And then once you are all at the daily, we're going to go ahead. And now we have them all open on the daily. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to open a chart that you're not going to run GearBox on. So a pair that's not listed here. In this case, I'm just going to use gold. Now, since you're already switching from another product, you should not have to do license validation again. Now, just for ease, in case you're a brand new person, we're going to just do the first step. You're going to just drag GearBox onto a chart, one chart, just hit OK. And it might make you do license validation. If you have to do license validation, you know what that looks like. Do the license validation. The next thing you're going to do is go to this gold chart, and you're going to drag the GearBox manager on the chart. You're also going to want to go to common, make sure all these boxes are checked besides this disable one. All these other ones are checked. And now you have to make a few choices. The first thing is going to be your starting lot size. For GearBox, if you're using our precision modes, being swing, sniper, or super sniper, then you can go anywhere from 0.01 per 1K to 0.01 per 3K, being very conservative. So this account here, this is an account that's got about 15,000 US dollars in it, 13.5 euros. So let's just do a 0.01 per 2K, for example. I'm going to do a 0.07 starting lot, or even a 0.01 per 3K. Now, you could also use a 0.01 per 1K. The larger your balance is, the more conservative, though, you tend to want to be with your lot size. A smaller account, it's okay to use a 0.01 on 1K or 0.02 on 2K, but when you get into the larger accounts, sometimes you might even want to scale back your starting lot size to, like I said, the 0.01 per 2K range or 3K. But then next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to decide your take profit setting. You might ask, what are these take profit settings? What does this mean? I'm going to keep it simple for you. If you leave it on Ghost plus Real, you'll be pretty happy. You put it in a Real Trades double TP, you'll be pretty happy. You put it in a Real Trades only, you'll be pretty happy. But what do they mean? So let's talk about it real quick. If you're using Ghost Trades plus Real Trades, let's say you enter a trade on level 6. It's going to calculate your take profit as if you were in all this drawdown, as if you were in level 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even though you're only in 6, it's going to calculate the TP it would have probably needed to hit to exit all these with a profit. If you do real trades double TP, you could enter a level 6. It's going to put the TP at 60 pips. You could enter it on level 3. It's going to put the TP at 60 pips. You can enter in level 1. It's going to put the TP at 60 pips. You do real trades only. Again, same concept. You can enter any level. It's going to put the first TP on that first initial trade at 30 pips. Those are your take profit settings. A lot of people love real trades double TP. Personally, I use ghost trades plus real trades myself. It's really up to you what you decide you want to use. I will say that real trades double TP, oftentimes people are a huge fan of. But let's just go with ghost trades plus real trades, for example, here. And then the next thing is this balance protection mode. This is not like an equity protector in Einstein. You still have that feature right here, right? Where you can set your max equity risk at 20%, and at 20% drawdown, it's going to close you out, right? You can set it at 50%, 50% drawdown, close you out. I have it by default at 100 because we have this other cool feature here known as balance protection. And what this does is when you reach this percent drawdown, and you can change this interval, but let's say you hit 25% drawdown, it's going to stop taking new trades. It'll keep managing your current trades and modifying them if one hits stop loss and it needs to change the take profit. It'll still manage all the trades, but it just will not take any new trades once this level is breached. Now, my belief in this is that if you guys even had this feature in your current strategy you were using, many accounts, even with more aggressive settings, could be in great standing. And that's why this feature exists in GearBox, because my belief is if at 25% drawdown, you don't put another trade into the market, if a black swan event happens or a flash crash, your survival rate is going to be extremely high, being the fact that you have all your equity to buffer and you're not putting any more risk into the market. So balance protection is a great feature. And that's the main things. But then what you also need to understand is maybe you're carrying a higher drawdown from another product, and maybe you still want it to be able to take another trade. If you maybe were in 30% drawdown coming over from a product such as Einstein, where you wanted it to manage your open trades, but you wanted to be able to still take another trade, you might put 35 here instead. That way it could still take one more trade if you needed to. That would really help you get out of the market sooner. But by default in GearBox, it's at 25%. Also, I know many of you were using, no stop losses. You could, when coming over here, just increase this to be safe. If you're carrying open trades and increase it to 1,000, if you don't want any trades to possibly get a stop loss applied or close out, you're going to want to maybe increase this if you had the previous setting that was turn stop losses off. There is no setting in GearBox to turn them off, simply just to raise this number. Is my belief is personally that not using any form of stop loss is completely reckless. Sometimes the best part of trading is just taking the loss so you can make it back and live another day. And so that's my thought process. But for those of you who are just waiting out trades, you could increase that, but then you're just going to hit OK. Now you've chosen your lot size, you chose your take profit setting, you chose your maximum pairs trading. By the way, this is the other important feature. Max pairs trading at the same time, 3. Any balance over $1,000, you can use 3 max pairs trading at the same time. Now, this means that it's going to scan all of these pairs for entries. All of them are going to get scanned for their entries. But if multiple of them hit entry at the same time, it's only going to allow 3 of them to start sequences on your account. That way you don't end up in too many trades that could have gotten you into a predicament, as we would say. It'll keep you from getting into too many pairs and too many sequences. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go over here and you're going to choose one of our precision modes. So again, what are precision modes? They're entering on these levels. If you choose swing, it's entering on the blue levels on each pair. If you're entering sniper, It's entering here. And again, what are those levels? How many pips in are they? Well, you can see for yourself right here. This is a visual of everything and where the software is making its entries based on the market and how far many of these are performing or going. So for now, I'm going to choose Sniper. Sniper tends to be the most popular option as it's very safe, but it also still gets a good amount of trades. As for intraday modes, instant entry is very similar to the strategy somewhere you might be coming from. The only difference is it's very conservative. You know, I will show you it still will have a bad day in some conditions and markets. This was that account running instant entry settings. And yeah, you know, it got into some drawdown, you know, still never breached 18% drawdown, but you can see EJ and UJ, it took some stop losses recently on that instant entry strategy. So, you know, instant entry is not the most ideal. You know, it's always really key to use precision strategies, being swing, sniper, and super sniper, where you're not, you know, just entering the market instantly. But that is a good strategy. It does work. It survived, you know, some movements, and it's very good. But, you know, at the end of the day, precision is going to be your best friend. So let me get back to my VPS here and show you why not to use, you know, the instant entry. Where did, there it is. Here's this VPS. Perfect. So again, instant entry, you know, you guys are very familiar a little bit with it, except this is a more conservative version. Skip a level is the same thing. It would only be skipping gear 0. These are more advanced strategies for more hands-on users. I do host a call every Thursday in regards to these modes. They, like I said, they're a more hands-on mode, more riskier decision. The best thing you can ever do for the most accurate trades with the least market exposure are going to be these precision modes. So again, I'm just going to choose Sniper, and I hit this button. And now you should see GearBox on every chart. I'm just going to give it a minute. It's loading it up on all the charts. Might freeze for a second. I want to read the chats while we're waiting, so I can answer some questions. Great question. I see. Can I switch my manual trades, which I put in Einstein, be transferred to GearBox? No, it will not manage any manual trades. There will be no management of manual trades by GearBox. You know, it will not manage those for you. Seems MetaTrader took a freeze. I'm just going to reopen it. Closey and reopen. So the manager, let's see, Auvoria, we can't push changes to settings. All we can do is we can push changes to the inputs inside of the GearBox manager itself, which is right here. As you saw, we use the manager to apply all these charts. It's just opening all of them. Give it a minute and we'll pull back up the manager. And then the manager can apply those updated entries. So there's many times I've come here and I've applied updated entries to the manager where I've seen that there's volatility on many pairs, and maybe it doesn't make sense for them to have earlier entries. Like many of these pairs were entering on gear 2 that have been moved up. Like this pair used to enter here, these used to enter here, this used to enter gear 2, CAD JPY. Many of them got moved up as times have been more volatile. And then we just update this chart and we update in the actual GearBox manager, you see here, those actual settings. And then when you click use strategy, it'll just update it. So if somebody really wanted to make sure they always had the most up-to-date data and entries, they would simply come hit this button and reapply the strategy. But we can't change the settings for people. They simply just have to come hit the button and they can get any updated data that we may make to entry settings for pairs. As for removal of pairs, we don't remove pairs often. unless we really see big events coming up. We might say, like during the US election, many people removed USD pairs. It was a wise decision for many. And that's different things. As for JPY pairs, we removed them because data over time has historically shown that they just don't respect counter trend strategies whatsoever. They always do this once or twice a year. So because of that, we eliminated them recently and put them in the worst performers. But most of the time, we're not really removing pairs. If somebody tunes into the once a week developer calls, they'll get all the notes. Harinder said, what if you have already gone over 25% drawdown when you switch over? Then again, you would increase your balance protection above that if you want to take another trade. I see some people asking, if I moved Einstein, how open trade. So let me go back here and answer some questions. So if we open the manager, again, if you have over 25% drawdown and you want GearBox to be able to continue to take new trades, you're going to go ahead and just increase this number to a number higher than your drawdown so that it continued to take trades. Now, if you want to have larger stop losses because you were using no stop losses, I would come in here and put 1,000 just for now until you get out of your Einstein trades and then lower it after. But you could come in here and put 1,000, 1,500 pips. I mean, it's reckless, but if you were already using it without any stop losses, then, that was reckless in itself. So with that being said, I would go ahead and just, understand that. Now, if you leave it at 500, it shouldn't apply to already existing trades, but for safety, I would just increase it. So that if you're worried about, hitting anything or the market's moved more than 500 pips, just increase it for safety, right? So just increase this and increase this if you're in more drawdown than, what's it set at, and that solves all those problems. So at present, we got 19 pairs as per chart you're showing. That sounds about right. Yep, if that's what you see here, then 19 pairs would be it. We eliminated these. So I think there's less than 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You're right. 19 pairs in the current time. All right, let me check the Q&A. Is there any way to put all the charts in daily in one shot? I'll ask I'll ask if there's a way to build it into the manager. DeRay, my programmer, it's a good idea. I'll ask him about that. Ahmed, manual trades, GearBox won't pick them up, but it won't be affected by them either. So the same way you had them on Einstein, you can have them on GearBox. Just GearBox isn't going to save you from your manual trades. Any manual trades you made are managed by you and you only, not the software. Somebody said, regarding clearing ghost trades each weekend, wouldn't this reduce the likelihood of number of real trades executed? I've had accounts for 2 weeks with no trades yet. What happens if we don't clear ghost trades each weekend? Awesome question. I actually love this question. Thank you so much for asking it. We're going to get right into that, and I'm actually going to go ahead and pull up a chart as an example. Let's go ahead and close this guy out. And we're going to open a chart of a pair that's on the worst performing list, and I'm going to show you an example of something. All right. We're going to take a look here at CAD JPY. And I'm going to tell you exactly why you clear them every week. So, yes, the last 2 weeks, there has not been many trade opportunities if you've been on the daily time frame. This is going to be a very educational lesson for those of you who are ready to learn. Take notes, understand what I'm about to tell you, because it will make a huge difference in the questions you might ask about how GearBox trades. So, there's a setting inside the GearBox manager that says clear ghost trades at the beginning of every week. What this means is, let's say you were in CAD JPY. We see it's a worst performer right now. Well, let's say you had your entry at gear 4 here. And let's say going up into Friday when the market closed, you were on a gear 3. Oh, that kind of sucks, right? Because you could enter gear 4. Well, let's take a look at the chart. And let's take a look at some data. So first thing is, gear 4 is only 138 pips in. If we go take a look at this chart and this run up here, that means that you could have gotten in, let's see, 138 from here. Let's say you tried to enter a cell. Let's even say you entered the cell up here. We're basically at 81. We run up right about here. You could have started trying to enter a cell. Now, what if you cleared the ghost trades? Next week, you're getting another 138 pips. And now, okay, now you took the entry here. Yeah, it still went another 300 pips, but it was better than you being in the other 138 pips prior to that too, because when you clear the ghost trades, it gives you the most accurate shot at catching a quick movement, because there are trends that also linger for a long time, and you don't want to get in those. You want to typically get in the quick bursts that happen in the same week so you can get the quick reversal. Whereas when you don't clear ghost trades, yes, most of the time you're going to get a lot more trades, you're going to make a lot more profit. But the reason I actually added that feature was because of scenarios like this, right? Where, oh, boom, it finally had a little drop right here. Relentless though, right? Relentless. And the point in showing that is because I want you guys to have the most success. Now, if you don't decide to clear ghost trades, what I would do is weekly go look at the different currency pairs that are about to take trades or what level they're at, and you could also manually clear them. So you could turn that feature off if you're a more advanced user and you don't want to clear the ghost trades. You could absolutely turn off that feature to clear them at the beginning of the week and hit no. And then manually, you could go look at each chart and you can actually see how far in you were. So these ones are cleared, but let's find one that's not cleared maybe. They're all cleared right now because I just reapplied this, right? Yeah, that would be correct. Okay, let's go to a different chart that doesn't have those clears cleared. Here you go, like a cell 2 on GBP JPY, for example. I could go here and let's say it was close to entering, which it's not, you know, but let's say, for example, I was entering on a level 3. I could go over here and say, you know, you're right, I agree with that. I'm okay with it taking a sell here. Look at the chart. Or you might go over to like something, you know, like NZD USD, and you see you're in a buy 3. Honestly, I don't really know if I'd be buying. So I might just delete this, right? But it automatically clears at the beginning of the week for me, so I don't have to. But if I wasn't clearing them, I could simply go at the beginning of the week and look at each chart and be like, nah, do I agree? Not really, delete. And then I could have a fresh analyzation. You can also get more trades that way. So that's a more advanced feature. Now, there's one last thing I want to tell you. For the person who said, hey, I haven't gotten that many trades, but there's been movement in the market. Well, let's talk about that. And there's been movement in the market, but I haven't gotten trades. So sometimes, and I'm going to go to my other VPS to show you this. If you play with the lower time frames, you'll often see that GearBox will play both sides of the market. But right now, it's in a sell level 0, and it's in a buy level 1, which means it has 0 and 1 open in buys and a sell open in 0. So it's actually playing both sides of the market in the Ghost server. And when you use the lower time frames, H1 or H4, they can perform better in consolidated markets or in markets where the software is trading with the trend. Because if the software is trading with the trend, then it's not counter trading and it's not getting into potential ghost drawdown, which means there's potential trades you're missing out on. But if you're using a lower time frame where it's playing both sides of the market, that means if any movement happens, you know, in either direction that would have gotten you an entry, you're going to get a quick entry and catch a quick reversal typically. It's riskier to use a lower time frame, but again, sometimes people decide to use it during slower consolidating weeks, like the past 2 weeks. Now I'm going to get into more questions. What happens to our gearbox trading if our broker leverage drops from 1 in 400 to 1 in 30? Well, the first thing is gearbox isn't going to work on 1 in 30. So currently what I've been told about Australia, this is affecting Australian residents using Australian brokers. What's going to happen then is any trades before the end of the month will still be at your higher leverage. And any trades taken after March 29th will be at the new leverage. So you're not going to want to be having Gearbox take new trades on your account after March 29th. If you're going to want to use Gearbox, you're going to want to look to get with an A-book broker that is typically offshores and will still offer you higher leverage. I can't recommend any. All I can say is that there are lots of great A-book STP, straight through processing brokers that are still accepting Australian residents and willing to give them higher leverage to be able to trade. So I would look into that and find some. There's many great ones out there that you could use. When we try to switch Einstein to Gearbox, White says, are you responsible for any open trades? I'm not. No, what I'm saying is you're responsible for open manual trades. There's people in here that are asking if Gearbox will pick up manual trades they took on their Einstein account. And it'll only pick up trades opened by Einstein or Alexander. It won't pick up trades that were, that were manually taken by you. I'm reading through the questions. How can we check which strategy is being used? You can't really check which strategy is being used. Here's how you could check. And changing stop loss value should only apply to new positions, not open positions. To the person who asked that question here, I believe through, I'm not sure if I said it right. But the point in telling you that is I would still just increase it by default, if you were using no stop loss. Mad Hop, do I need an Einstein account if Gearbox can handle those? No, if you Gearbox can pick up those trades and then start using the Gearbox strategy. So no, Gearbox could handle those, but you could also continue to have the Einstein if you wanted, but Gearbox can handle those trades. So theoretically, your answer is yes or no, personal preference. But if you wanted to potentially check what strategy you're using, there's really no way to tell easily. The easiest thing would just be to go apply the strategy you want to use again and just remember what strategy you clicked. Somebody said, can you mention again regarding stop loss move 500 to 1,000? When do you use it? You only would use that if you're carrying existing Einstein trades and you had no stop loss on them. Again, if you have trades with no stop loss because that's how you were running your Einstein, then in Gearbox you would just raise them for now, but I would lower them back once you get out of your existing open trades. Yes, after the AP software move is done, it's simply logging into Gearbox using the same MT4 account that was previously used on Einstein. That is correct, Esaraya. In UK, we are already on 1 in 30 leverage, so you're saying we cannot use Gearbox, we have to open an international account. Yes, correct. A 1 in 30 leverage is not ideal for Gearbox. It's not ideal for Einstein. It's not ideal for Variable. It's not ideal for Stratamus. The only product that can work on 1 in 30 leverage is going to be Neo. Regarding ongoing Gearbox maintenance, other than clicking use strategy each Sunday, is there any other maintenance steps not so active Gearbox should be performing weekly? Great question. So yes, every week you should just go and make sure any charts that you want open are open, right? Make sure they're open. and then just apply your strategy every week again. Just hit use strategy, just literally once a week. What I tell everybody is if you have an hour and a half a week, you can make money with GearBox, and all you need to do is really just tune into the once a week developer call for the strategy you're using, whether it's intraday modes or precision modes. Intraday's on Thursday, precision on Friday, Eastern time, USA time, and tune into that call. If you can't tune into that call, I send out cliff notes in the Telegram GearBox announcements channel. And then every week, just go make sure the pairs are open. Just make sure all your pairs are open that you want to run. And then just hit use strategy. And that's it. That's all you should do every week. If you just do those things, make sure you're basically before the market opens, just make sure that everything's good. Your VPS is running. That's all you should do every week. It's a very simple step. And I think everyone should be able to do that. And that'll help them better understand their product. I'm not understanding the question, Shaz, about Auto Robot. Does it take my main equity? Say I invested 5,500 and made 5,600. Will it only trade at $100 and not allowed to go 55? No, I don't think you're understanding it, and it doesn't do that. It'll use your equity. Bobby Shalane says, questions from the team. Awesome. Moving from Einstein to GearBox with existing 20% drawdown, is intraday strategy a good option? Can they only select 3 existing pairs, or can they add more pairs? Bobby, great question. I would tell anybody, if you wanted to continue to use the strategy that you're familiar with, then yes, you could use what pairs you already had and instant entry. But if you're looking to obviously change the strategy you're using, you can also continue to set it up as normal on precision modes, and it will continue to manage your other trades already open as if they were on the other strategy that you had previously. And then once they're closed, the next trades will be on your new precision modes, right? So anyone transferring with existing drawdown, I would still say set it up as normal and use precision modes. As again, intraday modes are always the riskier decision, as many of you have already seen by current open drawdown for some people. So that'd be my thought process. But yeah, if somebody wanted to use instant entry, I would go 0.01 per 3,000 and only run 3 pairs. So yes, that'd be my answer there, Bobby, on that one. I am in drawdown of 3,000 and 10,000 account. March 29th, leverage changed to 130. Best option, can't switch this to another broker and lose my drawdown. Again, my best option would be put GearBox on and let it continue to work. And just once your leverage drops, do not allow new trades to be taken. Lower your balance protection setting to be lower than your drawdown, so you don't take any new trades, but allow it to keep managing it until you can potentially get out of that drawdown or get into a period or a smaller drawdown where you're okay with taking a loss. Matt Hop, any reason why no trades over a week in my account? Yes, Matt Hop, the reason for it is GearBox has been trading with the trend because many people are in large swing moves right now. There's many people in GearBox drawdown from large moves. And now those moves are starting to go back in our favor, which GearBox is trading with the trend, which means that it's not getting in to drawdown. So I just addressed this for many people. If you want to get more trades with GearBox, you can simply change your time frame from the daily to the 4-hour and the 1-hour. And that helps a lot during more consolidated weeks because GearBox will hedge more in the ghost server. So if you're looking for more trades in weeks where you see it, you're not getting into higher gear entries, you can always lower your time frame. Will Einstein do trades on 1 in 30 leverage or completely stop? Subhash, if you let Einstein open trades in 1 in 30 leverage, it's going to probably margin call your account and you're going to start losing money. So I would not take any new trades with this strategy once your leverage changes, because the new trades after March 29th in Australia will be on the 1 in 30 leverage and they're going to margin call pretty much immediately. So I just wouldn't do that if you have open drawdown and you're using 1 in 30 leverage. I would try to get out of trades, get into a break even or a small loss, and get onto a broker that will that'll work for you. That's A-Book and can work. Yeah. Somebody said, when do you think we're coming out of USD JPY sell and Euro USD buy, causing large drawdown the last 3 weeks on Einstein? You know, I don't know. I wish I knew, but I don't. The key is just to be able to manage your risk, that you can withstand moves without getting into large drawdown, which is where GearBox comes into play, especially with its precision modes. We have to click on sniper use strategy every Friday. No, I would do it every Sunday, Buntry. I would click the use strategy every Sunday right before market open. If a performing pair becomes classified as a non-performing pair, great question. Do you simply delete that pair and untick allow trading, or just click pause new trends on that particular chart? Well, first, this is a two-part question. If I have no open trades on my account on these yellow pairs, I'm going to completely just X the chart. I'm going to go over and I'm just going to hit X. I'm going to close that chart, right? Now, if I have open trades on that pair, then yes, I would simply go ahead and I would hit the button on the UI that says pause new trends. And this is going to make sure that it only can finish the current sequences open, and then it won't open any new ones. And then once you're out of those trades, you could close that pair. Is it okay to move to GearBox if some accounts have 45 to 50% DD in all three pairs of Einstein? What settings would we use? I would set it up the same way I showed in the beginning of this video. I would use precision modes and let it manage your current open trades on those pairs. And then once those ones get out, it'll start to trade based on the new precision mode. But for now, it'll continue to manage your trades as it would how it currently was set up. Is 1 in 500 leverage too high? My current leverage is 1 in 400, but my new broker offers 1 in 500. No, absolutely not. I personally use 1 in 500 myself. What would you recommend someone who has a 250 account to start? Kyla, great question. The first thing I'm going to tell you is GearBox can work on a small balance, but it's not going to make your monthly fee back. But if somebody wants to start with $250, they're going to go in here. They're going to put their max pair setting at 1. They're going to put their lot size at 0.01. They're going to hit OK. And then they're going to hit Super Sniper. They're not going to get a lot of trades. They're not going to make crazy profit, but it'll work. And I'll give you an example of it working. Let me just go in here to my effects book, and I believe I'm logged in. No, logged me out. But I'll show you. I've ran a 250 account. It doesn't make a lot of profit again, but it's worked. It hasn't blown the account. It's ran through the market conditions, and it's up 84%. Like again, it worked on $250. It doesn't take a lot of trades, but it works for somebody who wants to do it. Absolutely, that'd be the method. Balance protection works in all mode. I see somebody asked, does balance protection work in instant entry intraday mode? Yes, it does. Should we delete the ghost trades every week using any precision modes or using individual currency? Siraj, it'll automatically delete the ghost trades for you. There's a setting that'll do it automatically. My current broker is Axie. They're offering 1 in 400, but March 29th, I'm moving to multi-bank that offers 1 in 500. Now, 1 in 500 is perfectly fine, but I thought that multi-bank was one of the ones that was lowering leverage. I'm not too sure. I don't really know. It is good to know that GearBox will manage higher drawdowns. Would you please explain a bit more how it manages open trades? Well, it manages open trades very similarly. The key is just that it skips the large brunt of the move, right? You know, it can skip the larger periods of drawdown. And just to give you an example, let me go to the calculator. Yep, I think that's it. Cool. So let's go in here, and you could go ahead and basically put in here your start lot, your size balance, and you can see the difference. I'm just going to use $1,000 account for an example. Start lot 0.01, start gear like 4 on average. Number of gears, we can do 8. I guess max gear 8. Should change that. There we go. And what you can see is basically the drawdown on the different levels based on the points and using the different lot size increment here. So let's actually do this. Let's do €2,000. Cool. Actually, hold on. This is more complex to explain to you guys. This might just throw you off. So I'm going to go back to the questions here. If I have a worse performing pair in Einstein, should I let it transfer to GearBox? If I do transfer it, what could be the outcome? No, you want to transfer to GearBox for now, just to let GearBox manage those trades and get out. But what I would do is when you do load it on, I would immediately have the button that says pause new trends and hit it on that pair so that GearBox can continue to manage the open trades. But then once those close, it won't open any new trades on that pair and you can completely close that pair. So that's how I would handle that situation, Raj. If Azara, even if you choose the higher level entry, I'm going to go back to my VPS that has Einstein trades on it. All right. What you're going to see on pairs that Einstein has trades open on, we'll use USD JPY, for example. Even though I have this on sniper mode, it's going to continue to manage these trades based on the mode it was on when these trades were opened, meaning that it'll pick them up just how it should. So yes, it'll continue to manage previous positions, even if they were, before your new position. So yeah, great question, but it's going to manage them. So no need to worry. Just use precision modes and it'll keep managing them even if they were on instant entry before. What if we need to add a new pair into existing GearBox? Great question, Omar. Add the pair, open the window, go back to your GearBox manager, re-hit the button, and now it's open. I was running Einstein this week and I changed it to Neo the Legend because the leverage changes. Can I manage few trades manually? Yeah, if you're, Neo the Legend won't manage your current open Einstein trades. So you will have to manage those trades manually. Great question, Jay. For a person who has no knowledge on Forex nor efficient enough to do all the settings on a weekly basis, would like to be a part of the program, is there any standard setting we can follow, or is it worth involving in? Yeah, no, Jay, really good question. It's really simple. All you need to do is simply just apply your strategy every week, right? Just go in here and just hit the strategy you want to use every week. So if it's sniper mode, just go to sniper mode and just look at the Telegram and see if we say it's a week you should lower your lot size, like a more conservative week because of a lot of news. Other than that, really all you got to do is just come in here and hit this button every week. If you can do that, you can use GearBox without being an extremely proficient user. Just tune into the Telegram, make sure any cliff notes you pay attention to, and just hit sniper. That's it. So yeah, Jay, absolutely. You can be a part of the program and it can be super simple. What is the average time before it picks up its first trade in sniper mode? I'm on it for a week and can't see my first trade yet. Again, I have answered this like 3-4 times. Right now, GearBox is trading with the trend because many people have been in drawdown already, going in trends that have been lasting for a few weeks. So when GearBox trades with the trend, let's say you enter a sell, and maybe GearBox users were in a sell already, right? And they're up here, and you're entering a sell now in the Ghost server. Well, it keeps closing because the market's moving in our direction. So the only way to really get trades sometimes in scenarios like that is first to either lower your time frame to H1 or H4, or just understand that GearBox enters trades because there is a trade, not because it wants to trade. Jono says, I have GearBox open running for the past week. I've logged in VPS, can't see GearBox Manager running an XAU. When I drag it onto XAU, it says, do you want to stop GearBox and execute GearBox? Yeah, you're gonna just hit yes to that, Jono, and you should see the manager on the chart. Which Telegram group are you referring to, please, for the weekly updates? Awesome. Here, let me just go ahead and I'm going to share the links in the chat. Let me just get them for you real quick. And there's 2 great Telegram chats for GearBox. Let me go ahead. Let me find them real quick. I have them right here. I just sent them all out. Boom. Copy text. Awesome. I'm going in the chat box. Everyone who wants the links, let's go ahead and go to the chat box, open it up, and I'm going to send you the links right here in the chat. But I don't see too many more questions. Please advise what strategy the GearBox Demo Australia account runs on. That account, I believe we're running sniper mode with a 0.01 per 1K. I'll have to follow up with Bobby. I know we set it up on one of our first calls. So I believe it's on sniper mode. Bernard, I'm not really sure I understand what you're saying. When receiving a notification, does it matter how fast or slow you hit approve? Yes and no. Because GearBox has a more institutional trading strategy, meaning it's going for a larger movement in the market, it doesn't fully have a large effect. By default, GearBox is a 6-hour expiration built on each trade notification. And then when you go to approve or decline it, it also revalidates the trade. So let's say you hit approve and the trade's not valid anymore, you won't see it enter on your account because the trade's not valid anymore, and GearBox will invalidate it after approval if it's not valid anymore. And then by default, after 6 hours, they'll expire too. Yes, Nalima, great observation. She said, so the best option is to switch to GearBox, then after the leverage changes in Australia, reduce the balance protection to less than the drawdown so that it will not take any new trades. Just wait and watch for GearBox to manage the trades. You got it. That's exactly how I would handle that situation as well with the leverage change. Now, again, if you're not an Australian citizen, this leverage change shouldn't affect you. Your broker would have sent you notice. So if you haven't received a notice from your broker about them lowering your leverage, you're unaffected. As Soraya said, still can't see the Telegram link. I shared it. Oh, hold on. I think I see the problem. I shared it with panelists, not all attendees. There you go. They are in the chat box. Links to the Telegrams are in the chat box. Go click them, join them both. You have the traders chat where multiple people talk together and discuss ideas. And you have the announcements chat where I post all the important stuff. So announcement stuff is all the important stuff that I send out. GearBox traders chat is to network with other GearBox users and ask questions. There's a phenomenal community of GearBox traders in there that are there to help you with your journey in using this product so that you have the most support and understanding the way that our products work. Bernard said, if a flash happens, what will the ghost server do at that point? If there's a flash crash, absolutely. The ghost server is gonna, let's say there's a flash crash and you're on AUD cat. All right, let's say you're on swing settings. Yeah, if that thing goes 800 pips and you enter at gear 3 at 87 pips, absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna take the next trades. If it drops another 500 pips, now what you got to remember is it's gonna stop taking trades once it gets to your balance protection level, which is what's going to save you if a flash crash happens. So yes, in a flash crash, absolutely, it's still not going to save you from entering a bad trade, but it will save you from losing all your money or blowing your account by using the balance protection setting. So that's to answer your question, Bernard. Anonymous attendee, I just answered this question. In Australia, we're stuck with large drawdown with broker changing to 1 in 30 on Einstein. So what should be the steps to change broker and switch to GearBox? Right up here, it was said by Nalima. She said, so the best option is to switch to GearBox, and then after the leverage changes in Australia, reduce the balance protection mode to less than the current open drawdown, so that GearBox will not take any new trades. It'll just wait and watch and manage trades. And that's what I would do. And then, yes, I would change brokers after you get out of trades where you're willing to cut a loss or close to break even. And Bobby has verified, yes, Australian demo account is running on sniper strategy on a 0.01 per 1K. Demo account is 10K, so it's running a 0.10 lot size currently. Awesome, Bobby. When setting up GearBox on weekends, both gears are starting and saying -1 and -1. Is it because it's weekend? Nope, it's because it's the weekend. There is no error with GearBox. It cannot enter a ghost trade because the market is closed. So that's why they are -1 and -1. You are set up properly. As long as they don't say -1 and -1 when the market is open, everything is good to go. And what he's referring to when he says -1, -1 is, let's say you set up an account. You'll see right now, I just set up this account. It's at -1 and -1. It can't open any trades right now because the market's closed. Where you might see this account has, ghost gears open, but as soon as the market opens, it's going to delete these trades and start back at -1 and -1. And then one of these will go -1 and one of them will go 0 immediately. And that'll answer that. If this, I've answered this one a few times too. If the stop loss is 500 pips, how will this impact our current open trades, which are already deep red? You're going to want to go ahead again and increase the stop loss on the manager if you were using no stop loss. Again, I don't believe in using no stop loss, but if you were using no stop loss in Einstein, which is very reckless in my opinion to use no risk management, you would just go ahead and increase this number and hit OK for time being. What about Euro GBP? Not mentioned on either side at all. Again, you could run it. It's gonna have the same entry as normal GBP pairs like GBP AUD here. So it swings gonna enter on 5, 6, and 7. But I don't have data on it, but it is gonna have the same entries programmed Euro GBP. Yeah. Did you share the links for your group chat? Yes, I shared them in this chat. I'll share them again right here again. All right. Where can I stop future trading GearBox and Einstein? Well, for GearBox, there's no way to stop future trades without just pausing auto trading. Now you can pause new trends, meaning that it'll manage current open trades, but it won't take any new ones once that pair closes. So for example, if I hit pause on GBP CAD and I had opened trades on GBP CAD, it'll keep taking new GBP CAD trades, but once they close, it won't open any new GBP CAD trades. Now, if you want to completely stop trading, you just turn off auto trading, which I believe is also very reckless. But if that's what you want to do, you could do that. Or the other way to stop trading with GearBox is to simply lower your balance protection to less than your drawdown. So if you had 2% drawdown, you'd make your balance protection 2% and it's going to stop taking trades, right? So those are some of the ways. Now in Einstein, the only way to stop taking any trades is to literally just pause auto trading. GearBox has a lot more functionality and control over how to stop different trades from happening. Are these 25 pairs in your Excel spreadsheet the final list of currency pairs GBP operates with? Will you be adding pairs from time to time? If I was going to add pairs, the only pairs again that I would add, I have listed right here. I'm testing some data on some different pairs. Give me a second, and it'd be the other major minors. It'd be Euro GBP, GBP CHF, and Euro NZD. Those would be the only other 3 pairs I would currently add that are the majors and minors. I will be starting to play with GearBox with custom settings on indices, metals, and commodities and things along those nature, but that's stuff that I won't be sharing for at least 90 days with anyone. But I am testing many other things in the background for pairs outside of your traditional majors and minors, to answer your question. But with that being said, I see we have no other questions. Thank you guys so much for spending, an hour and 10 minutes with me. I know it's early in the morning for many of you in Australia. If you're in America, I know that, it's Saturday night and you maybe could be out doing anything else, but you're here with us learning and growing your mind. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I look forward to continuing to help you guys on your journey to see success with GearBox. Get into the Telegram channels I shared in the chat box. Go ahead and make sure you're subscribed to the recordings of the weekly calls, whether it's intraday on Thursday or precision modes on Friday, or this call right here that will be going on again for the next 2 Saturdays. So we did it last Saturday. We did this Saturday. The next 2 Saturdays, we'll be doing the switch call again. These will not be permanent. This is to help everybody right now in a transitional phase where many people are looking to come here that we're in Australia. So again, thank you guys so much for your time. And I look forward to seeing you guys all on the next one. And again, thank you for your trust in Auvoria Prime and the GearBox product especially. Have a wonderful night, everyone, or wonderful morning for those of you in Australia.